the ever-shifting landscape of Lakers basketball, where legacy is forged in the crucible of Showtime's electrifying fast breaks, and Kobe Shaq's relentless three-peat define our hunger for greatness. An intriguing, almost cinematic subplot is quietly unfolding under the radar, one that could very well dictate the trajectory of the purple and gold's present and future. Welcome back to Lakers News Fan Report, where raw truths collide with purple and gold passion. Smash that like button, subscribe, and ring the bell so your heart never misses a beat. Now, picture this: Redick, once an NBA sharpshooting sniper, stepping into the head coaching seat, immediately resetting the Lakers' offensive DNA from the elbows out to the three-point line, flipping a calculus textbook of game theory that had the squad drowning in outdated mid-range habits. Remember the last gasps of the Darvin Ham era? The 2023-24 season closed with the Lakers dead last in three-point attempts, 28th in the league, with a measly 31.44 attempts per game, a statistic that clashed violently with the modern NBA's relentless outer space bombardment. But then, with Redick's stewardship, the Lakers exploded out of the gate, cracking open three-point attempts to an airy 36.4 per game and climbing to 19th in league rankings. And this wasn't just some incremental uptick. Add Luka Doncic, the mercurial Slovenian mastermind who's no stranger to bombs from deep, and suddenly the Lakers' long-range arsenal transformed into one of the league's elite, firing over 43 threes per game, draining more than 15, and dialing up a lethal 38% shooting clip. It's not just a stat line, it's a seismic shift, a strategic revolution reminiscent of Larry Bird's Celtics tweaking their lineup for that perfect balance of grit and range, or Kobe's relentless dedication to shooting that clutch late 90s fadeaway from behind the arc. But here's the under-the-radar bomb no one saw coming, lurking beneath the surface of this transformation is Jaxson Hayes, the oft-overlooked catalyst quietly redefining what it means to be a Lakers big man in 2025's pace and space league. Hayes, once pigeonholed as a rim protector and lob threat, is now embarking on a potential renaissance of versatility, rekindling his latent three-point shooting prowess, a facet that Redick witnessed firsthand when they shared the court in New Orleans. Back in the Pelicans' turbid waters, Hayes flashed glimpses of this sharpening shooter seeing their potential bloom, with a season where he drilled 43% from downtown and others hovering around 35%. Those are not just numbers, but a blueprint for Hayes' evolution into a modern NBA big who can anchor the defense, while simultaneously stretching the floor like a well-oiled Swiss watch. And here's where the plot thickens. Why is Hayes pushing hard to resurrect this outside shot now? The answer harks back to the Lakers' front-court chess game, a rotation dance involving Maxi Kleber, a player entangled with injury risks, but who, when healthy, spices up the floor spacing at the 5 alongside Christian Koloko, a freshman, fixing his sights on long-range consistency and giving glimpses of promise. During summer league flashes under Redick's watchful eye, the 5 spot is becoming a crucible for minutes, a battleground where Hayes, Kleber, and Koloko compete not just for roster spots, but for a role that could define the Lakers' style of play, one predicated on multi-dimensional players who can switch defensively, protect the rim, and simultaneously pull opposing bigs out beyond the arc. It's a tactical evolution reminiscent of how the Lakers in 2020, during the bubble championship, seamlessly shifted between defensive tenacity and perimeter shooting to quell teams like the Heat and Nuggets. Yet, as Hayes refines his form, his shooting stroke now quicker, his confidence radiating in off-season footage, the question remains, will these off-season workouts translate under the blinding pressure of NBA game conditions, where a catch-and-shoot with no defender in sight differs drastically from contested deep threes? Historically, NBA players can look like sharpshooters in practice, but the crucible of actual gameplay reveals true reliability. Still, Jackson's true priority appears rooted not merely in elongating his range, but sharpening his core strengths, rim protection, pick-and-roll IQ, and above all, better control of his foul count. The fine line Hayes danced during last season between being a reliable defensive anchor and literal liability illuminated in the playoffs, where his once solid per 36 fouls ballooned to over 9, far beyond a sustainable threshold, cutting his minutes and exposing a vulnerability that could prove fatal in high-stakes matchups. Fixing this, maintaining composure to avoid derailing the rotation, and growing into a steady defensive presence remains critical if he hopes to solidify his status as the Adriatic backup the Lakers desperately need, Imagine pairing Aiton's dominant interior scoring with a Hayes who not only adds this rim protection, but also spaces the floor like never before, a dual threat that forces opponents to scramble defensive schemes, simultaneously juggling inside power and outside range. This is tactical chess reminiscent of Showtime's adaptability, and the era where flexibility on both ends of the court became non-negotiable for dynastic glory. Whether it was LeBron's precision plays in 2020 or the ruthless defensive rotations that led to the 2010 back-to-back titles, where a center's value wasn't just shot blocking, but also slotting into an offensive rhythm. Salary cap dynamics and front office maneuvers only drizzle more intrigue onto the simmering stew, as Rob Pelinka wrestles not just with constructing a winning roster, but with positioning in the roaring Western Conference playoff gauntlet. Every luxury tax implication, every whispered trade rumor, and the looming buyout market tempers these internal battles with an urgency that morphs offseason. Tweaks in the final wagers on championship dreams. Could the Lakers trade down a frontline piece? Or will Hayes and the backup bigs become the secret sauce that solidifies the rotation, while Pelinka orchestrates an as-yet-unrevealed blockbuster, perhaps snatching a high-impact buyout veteran who complements this new, modern core? Here's the pivot: Hayes and Koloko adding that outside shot doesn't just upend rotation minutes. It redefines positional play itself, reshaping the archetype from bruising centers to agile, versatile bigs who can marshal defensive intensity while igniting offense from deep, pressuring opponents across every inch of the court. This multifaceted evolution mirrors the Lakers' own storied journey, from the era of Shaq's dominance at the rim to the modern age where spacing reigns supreme, reminding us that adaptability has always been the heart of LA's championship DNA. But will Hayes fully seize this moment or fall victim to the same inconsistency that has haunted his career so far? Will Maxi Kleber's health and growing reliability steal opportunities away? Or can Koloko carve out a niche that propels him past the veteran presence? Which player will ultimately fulfill the trusted Lions role behind Ayton, providing the blend of offense, defense, and energy that pushes the Lakers past their Western Conference rivals? And amid all this, how does a superstar trio featuring LeBron James, Anthony Davis, and the promising Austin Reeves harmonize minutes, roles, and expectations while navigating this strategic and personnel experimentation? As the Lakers rev their engines with the 2025 season looming, the weight of history presses heavily. Do we see another chapter penned, like the timeless Kobe White run or the 2020 bubble triumph? Or is this evolution marked by Jaxson Hayes' quietly developing shot, the subtle spark igniting a fresh contender, an underdog story ready to storm ancestral palaces? As a lifelong Lakers believer, my pulse is racing just writing this, because in a franchise shaped by transformation, grit, and flashes of pure basketball artistry, Hayes' journey from rim protector to floor spacer encapsulates everything thrilling and uncertain about our pursuit of glory. So, I ask you, the faithful, do you believe Hayes can truly resurrect the three-point shot and evolve into the versatile force J.J. Redick envisions? Can this tactical risk elevate the Lakers' front-court versatility and disrupt the grueling Western Conference hierarchy? Or is this just another swirling offseason mirage, destined to fade when the whistle blows? Drop your unfiltered takes in the comments. I'll be right there, heart in hand, riding this roller coaster of hope and tension alongside you, because in Lakersland, every twist could be the ignition point for our next title run or the crack that splits our legacy. A crackling surge pulses through your chest like electricity in a live wire, every nerve ending jolted awake, because this is no ordinary season dawning. Under the bright lights of Crypto.com Arena, it's a seismic upheaval fueled by history, hunger, and a roster balance on the razor's edge of reinvention, where the ghost of Showtime's fast break isn't a relic, but a blueprint etched in the team's DNA. Humming beneath the buzz of the modern game's threes and precision shot-making, no one is more caught in the crosshairs of this transformation than Jaxson Hayes, gambling on a reinvention from rim-protecting bruiser to floor-spacing sharpshooter. A leap from the comfort of the paint to the infinite blur beyond the arc. LeBron James, adapting to the demands of a new era, sees Hayes as the chess piece that can flip defenses, creating space for shooters and cutters alike. But that's a tightrope he hasn't asked every teammate to walk, especially one still wrestling with foul trouble and rhythm. And the front-court minutes aren't a gilded carousel behind Ayton's double-double presence. Hayes is fighting off Maxi Kleber, the fragile but cunning veteran, and Christian Koloko, the raw rookie spark. If Hayes' shot falters or discipline slips, The Lakers risk shaky foundations. If it lands, it could unlock defensive schemes and spacing so potent it forces the West elite to redraw their plans. Imagine Davis's bruising inside presence paired with Hayes rolling hard or stepping out to hit threes orchestrated by LeBron threading passes to an arsenal unthinkable 5 years ago. But Predators circle Denver dissecting every weakness. Phoenix sharpening its scorched earth attack. The Clippers and Warriors poised to exploit any crack. The locker room hums with whispers, buyout market wildcards, Pelinka's potential blockbuster moves, and the simmering battle for minutes that could either forge trust or fracture bonds. Every Hayes practice jumper echoes in the psyche of a fanbase craving a new hero, parallel to echoes of Kobe's fadeaways and Shaq's dominance. Will this reshaped front court become a seamless force or disrupt LeBron's Twilight Symphony? And Davis's defensive command, every game is a narrative. In real time, Hayes' shot could be the ignition for an underdog surge, or the glaring weakness rivals attack. What if Pelinka shakes the roster so hard Hayes is traded or benched, reduced to a footnote? What if the buyout market tempts the Lakers into replacing youth with aging stopgaps? Look at Austin Reeves, can he thrive alongside this evolving front court? Or will minute juggling bury him? And AD's durability, can he anchor the defense night after night like the 2020 bubble run? Redick's offense is weaving statistical precision into spacing Magic Johnson would applaud, and the pressure feels heavy and metallic, like the hush before a whistle detonates 18,000 voices. LeBron still hunts the last laugh at rings and records. AD remains the anchor of purple steel, scars and all. The front court shakes with potential yet teeters on instability. Could Hayes' struggle between eras define whether Lakers basketball evolves beyond nostalgia into cutting edge fire, or will it unravel into trade rumors and fractured chemistry? In LA, every three-pointer rides futures, every missed rotation twists the knife. Off-court deals slip through midnight hallways, and the crowd's roar can lift or crush in a breath. If Hayes locks down the shot and the discipline, the Lakers could hold an unguardable enigma. If not, it's a seductive mirage that derails his defensive edge and sparks rotation chaos. And if the superstar trio's chemistry bends, underline upturn LeBron's minutes become a puzzle. Adds health a gamble. Reeves a bystander, the Western Gauntlet will tighten like a noose. Every night becomes a gladiator's arena, every possession a legacy pivot or scar. In Lakersland, the line between immortality and irrelevance is a single play, a single shot. The revolution calls, the old guard meets the new. And in that crucible stands Jaxson Hayes, a man chasing the shot that could tip championship tides or crush dreams under the cruel spotlight. As a Laker till my last breath, I can feel the earthquake rumbling under this season. Now tell me what's rattling your soul. Personally, I'm all in on Hayes' shot coming alive this year. His talent and work ethic are undeniable, and if he nails this transformation, the Lakers aren't just contenders, they're architects of a new dynasty, built on versatility and venom. But it's a razor's edge, and every fan should brace for the chaos it might bring.